Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here and share with you one of the projects that we're working on here with the Alberta Policy Coalition. The title of the presentation today is Creating Healthy Food Environments in Recreational Facilities Through Policy. A little bit of background on who we are. The Alberta Policy Coalition for Chronic Disease Prevention is a coalition of 17 organizations across the province of Alberta. And we've come together to coordinate efforts, generate evidence, and advocate for policy change to reduce chronic disease within the province. And we're housed here within the University of Alberta at the School of Public Health. Our work tends to focus on 4 key areas, and that's unhealthy eating, physical activity, alcohol-related harm, and tobacco use. And what we're working on is building capacity to use policy as a tool and also enhancing public acceptance of policy-related activities. One of the partners on a current project that I'll be sharing with you today is Power Up. And some of the work that Power Up is currently doing, you may or may not have heard of or be familiar with. One of our projects is the Alberta Nutrition Report Card for children and youth, focusing on creating healthier food environments. Another project that I'm sharing with you today is called the Food Action in Recreation Environments, which is focusing on healthier food environments specifically in recreational facilities. So I'd like to dive right in and share a little bit about that with you. So we know that recreational facilities have a health mandate to promote health and well-being through recreation and providing physical activity and opportunities to participate and be physically active. However, a lot of the food sold in these settings tends not to support healthy choices and can provide mixed messages to children and youth about what's healthy. So our work is focusing on developing healthy food and beverage policies that can be used in these settings to promote healthier food environments and make healthy choices the easy choice. We know that local communities play an important role in promoting policy change and also in sharing successful stories of policy change between communities so that we can learn from each other. So we've taken this the next step further and in partnership with Power Up have come together to create a collection of policy stories or successful stories of the development of healthy food and beverage policies in communities and jurisdictions across Canada. And we've shared these policy stories through our Recreational Facility Project website. So the FAIR Project website compiles not only policy stories, but other useful tools and resources that communities can refer to get started on the path to policy change. And I'd really like to show you a little bit of what this project looks like. So I'm going to share my screen and take you through the FAIR Project website so you can get a little bit more acquainted with what we've been working on. So when you arrive at the Alberta Policy Coalition's Rec Project website or the FAIR website, you'll first see a video that we've created to help people learn more about the issue of creating healthier food environments in recreational facilities. And this can lead them to pursue learning a little bit more about the topic by reading about a policy brief on Alberta Policy Coalition's website. Moving over into Policy 101 gives a little bit of background on healthy public policy, as well as a tool that was developed by one of our partners in Place Lab, Dr. Candace Nikiforuk, which highlights the Policy Readiness Tool. And this is a self-assessment tool or a questionnaire that can be completed and used by communities to determine their readiness for policy change. By completing a short questionnaire, they can find out what level of readiness they're at and some tangible strategies that they can use to move forward with developing a policy. Our policy toolkit really brings together a collection of policy tools that can help them further understand the problem, explore existing policy templates, assess their readiness for change using the Policy Readiness Tool, and then, of course, getting inspired by successful stories from across Canada. We've also got an opportunity for them to get in touch with contacts in and around the Edmonton area, as that is the focus of our current work, and exploring additional resources that have been developed by organizations doing work in this area. Research summaries is something that we will be introducing this fall, and what we're working on here is highlighting research that actually has come out of the School of Public Health focusing on evidence-based strategies to improve healthy food environments in rec facilities. And much of this research took place in and around the Edmonton area. So we're really looking forward to sharing these 2-pagers with communities and also rec facilities so that they can utilize these learnings and apply them in their centers. I mentioned the policy stories a couple of times, and those can be found here. We have 2 stories at the moment, one coming out of the City of Hamilton and one coming out of Saanich. And we'll have a completed series of 7 policy stories which are going to be added over the next couple of months. There's also opportunities for members of the public to get involved and show their support for healthier food in their community rec centers. And what we're doing here is leading a social media challenge on Twitter, where we're encouraging people to share their reasons why they think it's important to have healthy choices in rec centers. And I can provide you with a quick snapshot here. The Alberta Policy Coalition's Twitter handle is @APCCP. And a few of the different submissions that are coming through are highlighting some of those reasons why healthy food is important in these settings. Other opportunities for people to get engaged includes how to contact and ask your municipal government to make changes in this area. So under the Show Support tab, we have some sample tweets that could be sent out and information on contacting your city councillor. I'll just jump back here for a second over to our policy toolkit, where you can see some additional resources that we have available to provide extra support. And so the Alberta Policy Coalition, as I mentioned, is a collaborative or a coalition of 17 organizations. And on this particular project, we've been working closely with the Heart and Stroke Foundation here in Alberta, Everactive Schools, Alberta Parks and Recreation Association, Alberta Health Services, just to name a few. And so we've come together to incorporate some of the top or most useful tools that communities can access when it comes to creating healthy food and beverage policies. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a snapshot into what we've been working on. I'm just going to jump back to my slides here. So I touched on quite a few of these different pieces along the way, including the policy readiness tool, policy stories, and our research summaries. The community challenge is going to be continuing for the next couple of months. And then here's a couple of samples from our project team who are getting involved in showing their support for healthy food and beverages as well. So at this time, I'd just like to open it up to questions. I've included my contact information if you want to get in touch with me here at the Alberta Policy Coalition or with Kayla Atke regarding anything further on the project.